Hey, Roger Federer. Roger. So anyway, I was getting ready for my little video, which I decided to do like informally right now. Because I feel like, well, no, let me try to rephrase what I was about to say. Oh my God, have you ever had like a total week where just it feels like a freaking Twilight Zone? Nothing will go, no matter how much you're trying to do things or get things resolved. Like even the smallest things will just not go. So, I mean, it has been absolutely crazy impossible. Especially these last 2 days. It's almost like something like so weird out of the freaking Twilight Zone. So, of course, like, I was just frustrated, and then I was indifferent, and, then I was just trying to, like, I said some of my other videos, like, think like a worm and just keep moving forward and stuff. And, I was like, let me just take it one moment at a time. Like, I don't want to start it. And then I started thinking about, like, tennis again. Or, like, what I tell Roger Federer or whatever. Just play it point by point. Just stay positive. You don't have to stay positive through the entire match, but just stay positive down to the second. And so then that, of course, turned my thoughts to you. And I was, like, suddenly so happy to, like, oh, God, let me just get rid of all of this crazy stuff, crazy people, crazy situations, and talk tennis, do something that I like. And, at the same time, I can say I'm blessed to a certain extent, although I feel like, that a lot could be better in my life, certainly. But, I'm blessed, I'm healthy, and, I'm not, I could be living in, I could be a child of war, living in another country, having, the worst part of the day, like being trapped in the Gaza Strip or something like that. So, and it's not a reflection on the people of Gaza, but I'm just saying, like, you know what, I am blessed. So I need to hold on to that, because there's a whole nother realm as far as hardship is concerned when it comes to life on this planet, and the percentage of hardship. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. I didn't mean to go off into all of that, but I started, getting ready for this little video or whatever, and I wanted to get the lint off of my, my sweater. And, of course, I was just like, I always have this conversation with this lint brush. I don't want to show it too much because it has lint on it, and I don't kind of want to gross you out. But, I'm like, who invented this thing? I always make a joke like this with friends and stuff at workplace, because you usually keep it like in your desk drawer, once you take your coat off for work or whatever, and you just want to give yourself a quick brushing over to be fresh, lint-free for the day. So anyway, as you can see, this video is not a tennis video necessarily. It's just probably maybe a little more conversational. But I was just like, well, who invented this? I always wonder, like, this really simple idea of taking tape and just wrapping it around a circular object and completely using it as a lint brush. And, it's just kind of like one of those people that you wish, it's like, I wish I was in that family. Whoever the hell invented this. I'll put my name on it because it was in my desk. But whoever invented this, along with the rolling suitcase and along with the solo cup, like, I don't know how it is for you, Roger, but almost everything in America that has there's cups that are made out of plastic are made from a company called Solo, and you're just kind of like, well, I wonder what it's like to kind of be in that family. So, but I realize that, money isn't the answer to all problems. That's the first thing that you'll hear so many people who have so much wealth say. It absolutely isn't. So, what is I think it's these moments like now, having these tough moments, and then just, from like I'm having, and just sit down and go, you know what, I'm not gonna, I declared, I got up this morning, I did my job, I declared it was gonna be a good day, I declared how I wanted the day to go, and it hasn't gone any of that way, but it could be worse. So I want to stay in a state of gratitude and be thankful and just for what I do have and where I am right now. And I am having a difficult moment, but I don't have to look out for the rest of the entire day, obviously, and try to get into this like fantasy of, oh my gosh, it's going to be such a great day. I can just focus on the moment and just go, all right, you know what? I'm just going to let go and just keep moving forward and doing what I can do. I'm just going to keep making effort, and that's good. It's good enough. So I'm feeling a little bit better. Whatever. I'm trying. Whatever, right? You felt that sarcasm there. Whatever. But anyway, so the real thing I wanted to get into, speaking of happiness, is that, I mean, my friend, what else is brilliant besides this freaking invention is just your trip to Brazil. Like, you look like, Roger, you're having the freaking time of your life in Brazil. Like, you're having so much fun, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, people are just Federer fans and Nadal fans, everyone, like tennis fans in general. People are like retweeting your pictures down in Brazil, seeing you like ham it up too, Roger. I love it because I never feel like, I feel like you're more conservative. And when I say that, I don't mean that that's like a negative thing, but I like to see you like cut loose a little bit. So just to see you like on the court going like this, sitting, hoping his song is not going to hit you with his serve and, stuff like that. Like, it's so cute to see that and then see you joking around like in your videos, and stuff like that. But I think my favorite video in Brazil so far, has been just the video on you and Gillette donating or I guess donating a tennis court to a neighborhood, and some kids were actually on the condition that some kids were able to return your serve. Man, how was that? I would love it. I know I'm going to meet you one day, Roger Federer, and one of the first things I'm going to ask you to do, of course, would be to serve to me, of course, because that's always been my goal. Like, if you look at my old YouTube channel, Old World Girl 1, it's youtube.com/oldworldgirl1. You'll see, like, in the comments that I would say, oh, my dream is something, one of my dreams is to have Roger Federer or even Rafa, like, serve to me 120 miles an hour just to see what that's like, so it'll have to be probably a good, let's see, I'm gonna give myself a great shot. I'm gonna say it'll have to be a good 3 serves. I'll say I could try to return something in 3. I'm gonna give myself a positive shot instead of saying I need 10 serves. I'm gonna say 3. So I think with some focus and get a feel for it, I can do it, or at least get part of the racket on it. But whatever. So getting back to your video, I loved it. I love your YouTube channel. I'm so glad you're like reaching out to us and just utilizing the platform that YouTube provides, Roger, just in general, on a global level. I know you have your like Facebook account, and Facebook is great, but not everybody uses Facebook. Not everybody's on Facebook all the time. And not all channels of communication work through Facebook. And so I think your YouTube channel is great. But anyway, let me go back to this. So you were serving to these kids, and one of the kids returned your serve. And, just seeing you talk about the experience, and not only just talk about that experience, but the experience of Brazil and being to South America for yourself for the very first time. It was really just nice to get to see you sort of a little bit, even though this was still relating to tennis, it was nice to see you just interpreting your experience through your own eyes as Roger Federer, kind of like the person, rather than necessarily the tennis player, even though you're still down there to play tennis. So I thought that was nice to get that sort of feel from you, and who you are. And I think the thing for me that was most touching was that you we're so happy, just genuinely, truly, and authentically happy to see people excel. And that is why it's so much missing in this world. And that's, I have to say, why I just absolutely adore you so much, Roger, you know, because I really love the fact that I think that you believe in the fact that, you know, if you just give people a chance, you know, for the most part, 99.9% of the time, like, if you just give people a chance, if you give them access, they will take it. They will, you know, do things on their own. They will want to excel. You know, some people are lazy. We're always going to have that or whatever. But for the most part, if you give people a chance, if you just meet them as a human being, and just give them a chance, you know, so there could be so much change, so much positive change in the world. So I love that. And for whatever reason, I was directed to your website earlier this week, and I love what you guys are doing through your foundation, what you're doing in Malawi, how you're tracking the progress of your educational program in Malawi, but also what you've done in Ethiopia and South Africa as well, Roger. Like, I love you to death for that. You know, I just love you, and I love people like you who are in the world just towing the line, just trying to make it a better place, and just give people a chance to be able to create for themselves, and in turn be able to help so many others, you know. So I love you, love you, love you, Roger, for that. Love you for that. So anyway, yeah, so I love your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel is awesome. Yeah, I was wondering why a lot of the video seems a little foggy. Probably I'm looking at my monitor as well, and of course, because I always do my videos, I don't bother with the editing program that I bothered to buy months ago, because it's still a little complex. I need more time to understand it, but I think, like, what do they call it, like white balance or something? Like, it's a color spectrum sort of setting, and as you can see, like, some of this video is a little bit washed out, and I think some of the videos that are uploaded on your channel are a little bit strange. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's my computer, and I don't think it is, but they're a little bit faded, a little bit kind of like the way this video looks, a little bit washed out. So I'm looking forward anyway overall. You know, and I see that people actually edit, your videos are actually edited, so that's really awesome. So they have like a nice little sort of documentary feel to them. And again, love your interviews, like just getting that real perspective of what I feel, like of a feel for Roger Federer as kind of like a little bit more of the person. A little bit more of the personal experience of Roger Federer, traveling, wanting to help people, how this affects him personally, what his personal outlook is as a person, rather than necessarily Roger Federer, the tennis great. So, yeah, Roger, you know, proud of you and all. And, yeah, I just want to go back into my whole thing about what I was talking about having a hard day and stuff like this. And I think I'm just a little bit annoyed, possibly. And I'm definitely annoyed, but I think one of the reasons why I might be annoyed is because December is the month that I always, well, actually I can't say I always, but I typically, especially last year, I started, like, I went into silence a little bit, you know, not talking so much. Going into silence actually is a really great, it's a great exercise, you know, to do that for a couple of days. It allows really, it's very strange, especially after you've had like a workshop and you're bringing up maybe even memories or experiences that you're sort of working through or whatever, and you're trying to do all of this self-development and move into a great positive place and harness all the positivity inside of yourself. Like, going into silence is really great. It's just something about it. It really gives the body a chance to speak. I don't know how to explain that, really, you know? It gives the body a chance to speak to the mind. I know that probably sounds so weird, but that's been my experience. Like, being able to analyze thoughts and things like that, and strengths and weaknesses, or whatever. It's been really interesting going into silence, like what comes up in your mind, like, oh, I didn't notice that I typically react in this way, and that, seems like a way of like that I'm afraid or something. I don't know, but being in silence is pretty awesome. So anyway, so as a break, I'm not saying do it all the time, but it's pretty nice, especially after you've done like either some meditation or some sort of self-inquiry. After self-inquiry is awesome. All right, there we go. Boom, finally got to the point. So yeah, so this month I've been really using it, like, how do I want to come into 2013? Like, what do I want my year to look like? Sorry about my cover back here. I know it's like a little messy. So what do I want my year to look like? Like, who do I want to be in 2013? And so I just want to remind you as well, like, I know you're really busy and stuff like that, but like, what you might want to just utilize the remainder of remaining 20 days of December to really just sit down in the morning and go, what's my intention? Like, who's the Roger Federer that I want to be in 2013? And how do I want to be, again, like I've said this in my other videos, like, how do I want to be in my rivalries? How do I want to approach that? Who am I? I'm in my rivalries, in the middle of some tough competition. How am I relating with my mind? Who's in the driver's seat, who's in the driver's seat when I'm in the middle of a high stakes match or a high stakes moment, like whether I'm at a tie break where I can turn the tide in my favor, or I'm behind, or I'm ahead trying to keep the lead, or I'm 2 sets down and I need to pull myself out in order to keep this match going to 5. Who do I want to be in those moments? How do I want to show up? Rising to the occasion, rising to the challenge. I say yes to rising to the challenge. I say yes to unlocking the doors to all of the answers and performing at my greatest in those moments, and moving out, being clear of any obstruction, being clear of any nervousness. My mind is clear. My mind is very capable, and I have the ability to really focus and know that know and trust my ability to perform and seal the deal. So, that might not be your approach, that little sort of manifesto affirmation that I just said, but it'd be really good to think about how you want to approach 2013. And also, I just want to remind you as well, like, I know that you are shooting for the Olympics, and I'm really proud of you. And I totally support you playing less tennis. Not only for your tennis physical life, so to speak, but also for your personal life. Of course, I don't know your personal needs or anything like that, but I imagine, your personal life, you really want to have more time with your family. So I support you in that. What I did want to say is that I just want to remind you as well, like, some of the stuff I saw, you said you were playing less so that you could stretch yourself into 2016. Roger, I just want to remind you, like, you may find that you play less this year in next season in 2013, like, you play less, and you may find, like, damn it, I feel like I can play more. So I just kind of want to remind you as well, like, to just keep that option open, and also remember as well, I know you had a pretty dogged year, Davis Cup and the Olympics, didn't really give you much time to have much rest. But definitely I say gear up on the practicing, like you said, and I say the mental aspect, which maybe I'll try to make another video for. I don't know if I can promise it. I always say stuff and then I can't get around to stuff, but I'd love to kind of to do like a year-end visualization of, you know, who does Roger Federer want to be, and I'll maybe couple it with my own sort of thing, but not too much of me, but more of what my concept of oh, maybe it's just through my eyes, the concept of Roger Federer, the player, and maybe who I suspect he may want to be or whatever, though I can't speak for Roger Federer, the player. So I'll offer it, and Roger Federer will take, if he finds anything useful, he'll take it, and if he doesn't, he'll leave it. So, you know, you may find, just getting back to that, you may find that playing in 2013, that dropping what is it, two I think you're just dropping 2 tournaments or whatever, you may find that you'll be like, listen, I can do this. You know, you may, in 2014, you may want to take it back up. So I just want to say, be careful of also feeling like, you know, it's smart to want to schedule, is all great, but be careful of also like turning the mind or the subconscious into something like, oh my gosh, I'm getting older, now I'm gonna have to play less. Like, that mentality you want to move out. And you're also very good at listening to your body, which I've always found great in common with you. Like, I always listen to my body as well, and the body really will tell you what's going on, like what it can't eat and what it loves and different things like that. So, you know, just keep your ears open for what your body can do. And I say, like, if you end up feeling like you want to play more, and you feel like if that's strategically beneficial for you, if that works for your personal life as well, then I support you in that. I'm just saying, like, playing less is fine. I totally support you in it, but at the same time, like, just knowing the difference between letting the subconscious go to something like, oh my gosh, I'm getting older, I definitely have to play less if I'm going to make it to 2016, rather than just saying, you know what, I'm in top form, top shape, my body isn't complaining, you know, unless, unless you're feeling something and you feel you want to play less. I totally get it, especially this year, you know, because last year was really, really hectic. It's a lot of strain and stress. But I do personally believe, Roger, that your physical capabilities are extremely high. Of course, your talent and ability in general, tennis ability, is sick and it's high, but it's a mental, like, if you don't get that all taken care of, that's just draining the body. Like, all of this strain and stress, like you talked about it with Del Potro, like, oh, my match with Del Potro, and I'm not saying that you were complaining or anything like that, I'm not saying it was a negative thing, but it's just a fact. You know, you were mentally drained from Del Potro, so you weren't available for the match for Murray. You know what I mean? Even though you personally, I saw your spirit trying, and I've said this in other videos, but I'm saying the mind is a liability, you know, in these cases, and it does drain you physically, and it does also keep you from being available physically. So I think in, 2013, it's like, what kind of mental state do you want to have? How are you managing your emotions? How are you what's your pressure management ratio? You know, and of course you play under a lot of pressure and you do really well, but don't think that that's enough. That's what I'm saying to you as a friend, as a fan, you know, somebody who's just, I got your back, you know, seriously. Don't think that's enough, Roger. Like, I want to see you like really step into your potential, and you know, like, all you have to do is, you can get that mental aspect out of the way, you're going to be winning, like, left and right. Of course it's going to be a battle or whatever, but you're going to be winning. These guys know it. Don't think that Djokovic doesn't know, like, oh, this is typical. Like, he had that look on his face like, oh, I'm down 3-0 or whatever, and he did make some errors to contribute to that at the World Tour Finals I'm speaking of. But I'm just saying, like, people know, they know, you know, Murray knows, you know what I mean, even Rafa knows, you know, and people always put in on Facebook that quote from Rafa, anyone who says Roger Federer is better than me doesn't know tennis or whatever. And I'm like, if Rafa isn't saying that, then Uncle Tony's saying it. Like, they both know that you're the best player, Roger. So, you know, like, do you know how high you can rise? And I want to see you do that in 2013. Like, I feel like you have everything down. I love it that you want to practice more, you know. That's definitely, I definitely support you and all of that. But I think the mental aspect, really kind of focusing on strengthening your mental fitness in the more difficult moments, and it's not even fighting against these other guys, it's fighting against your own personal thoughts. Like, you again are your biggest opponent. It's fighting against your own thoughts, believing it. Oh, one point, I forgot when it was, after Shanghai and before the World Tour finals, like, oh, you had beaten Murray, but then you said something where you didn't even feel that you could have beaten him. What? I'm just like, really? But I get it, you know what I mean? When you're actually out there and you're so bit, the mind and the wheels are turning, and what my trainer calls the gremlins, like the gremlins are like the negative thoughts, the fear, the anger, the ego, sometimes the things that come up and go, no, you can't do that. No. He beat you last week. What do you think, you're going to beat him now? It's going to be hard. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. It's that voice. It's that feeling, so it's just about even getting into the point of recognizing the origin of those feelings, recognizing them when they start, and then start managing them as they come up. And that's what I'm talking about when I say about your mental fitness. It's not about being, it's not, again, about mental retardation or anything like that. It's just about mental fitness, pressure management, and keeping things in perspective, so that you won't be, once again, maybe I'm sounding repetitive, but sorry. I don't know if you watch these videos. I feel like you watch these videos. Let me just keep it real. Thank you. Love it. Mwah. I don't know what you do for sure, but I don't know. I like to try to go with my gut. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, because a lot of these videos are long and stuff like that. I don't know who's watching what point in time or whatever, so I do repeat stuff. So I'm just gonna repeat here, and just say, the mental fitness is important, the management, and again, it's not about making a comment on anything being, feeling like, oh my gosh, you get mentally incapable. It's not that. It's just about really getting fit, about processing the emotion, about processing and putting aside the gremlin, putting aside in that moment when you're at a tiebreaker with Del Potro, with anyone, Del Potro or Burditch or whatever, especially Del Potro. You guys seem to do a lot of tiebreakers, or whatever, this season, a few times. So when you're in those moments, how can you have your mind clear to be available? Because when you're available and you're just clear, you're winning. But when you're under this duress of emotional tension and the tension of the moment, which is understandable, it's a high stakes moment. So the nervousness, everything is all understandable. It's very human, but it's just about managing that stuff out, managing it out so you can focus, managing it out so you can focus, and seeing the origin of it 5 miles away, and just filtering that out. Like, oh, I see, see what's coming. I see, I know my pattern. I know, first it starts with a missed shot, and then I carry it on to the next shot. I'm just making this up right now. Carry it on to the next shot. Then I start feeling down. Then I check out a bit. And then next thing you know, the nervousness is driving the bus or driving the seat, the car. And you want to be in control. You, Roger Federer, want to be in control in those moments. World Tour finals against a Djokovic as well. You want to remain in control. As well. So as a fan, love you so much, Roger. And that's all this is coming from. And I saw something where you said you wanted to give your body and your mind, I don't know, something about it. Whatever it was really good. So I'm hoping that you are going to work on the mental aspect, because that's what I really think it takes. You're always going to be in the kitchen with these guys. You're always, with these points, like Rafa and Djokovic used to say, it's just a couple of points back and forth. And then you also said that, I think against Murray at the Olympics, just a couple of points at the end of the day. So you're always going to, the nature of the business here with so many high talented guys who are always constantly stimulating each other with their new level of talent, which is what you guys are doing. It's always going to be high stakes. It's always going to be close, pretty much. It's always going to be, and these are not negative affirmations, but I'm just saying, like, this is just the nature of the business. you know. So you already know that physically. That's why you train hard. This is why you want to practice more. It's why you're taking off a little more time, as I understand it, you know, in addition to what you want in your personal life. But, you know, given that, it's always going to be a tough road. So it's about, to a certain extent, it's about, you know, or let me say, it's always going to be a road that requires the highest skill, the highest amount of attention, the highest amount of consistency with not only mentally but physically. So I don't want to say it's a tough road because, you know, I don't like to use the word tough, but the requirements to be above these guys and to interact with these guys in a successful manner, because everyone's training so hard, everyone's so highly stimulated by the high level of talent each one of you have, and you guys are playing off of each other. So you're always staying in a high level of development and also a high level of desire to win. So the intensity of all of that, so it just simply requires a high level of intensity, a high level of focus, a high level of mental resolve, a high level of willingness to be able to turn the tide in your favor, to hang out, to hang through it, kind of like today, what I'm trying to do. You know, if you're being in a bad spot, taking it down from the moment to very little second and just like, what can I do right in this moment? What can I just do? You know, and just keep doing that. And that's what the greats do. You know what I mean? That's what you do, Roger, you know. But in 2013, again, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be mentally? How do you want to handle tie breaks better? How do you even want to push down the ratio of getting the tie breaks? You know what I mean? I know, again, you're wanting to practice more, so it feels like you're on the absolute right road. I know you are, you know. So anyway, I want to close this off. You know, so happy to see you having a great time in Brazil. Oh my gosh. It looks like people are just having a fantastic time. I look forward to more tennis coming to Brazil and to South America. You know, they deserve it. I was so happy when they got the bid for the Olympics as well. I haven't been to South America, but I know that I'm always going to Rio, and have two favorite films, actually. And, oh, Roger, if you haven't seen, I know you don't have time to really watch movies, but one of my favorite films out of Brazil is not City of God, the popular movie, but the actual TV show called City of Men. It's a TV show, and then they also made a movie out of it as well, and it's by one of the directors or one of the producers of City of God. But for me, it was very well written. I enjoyed it. It was about kids living in the favelas in Rio. So it's just really interesting to see the life there and to see the rich part of the life, the richness of the people there, the degradation, the crime element, the wealth gap, anything, the same type of deal, but at the end of the day, everything being so very human. So that's a very good movie. So, if you ever have time as well, see if you can take a look at it and see it. I doubt you really ever have time for that, though, because it's a lot of episodes. But yeah. So I hope you're having a fantastic time in Brazil, and we'll talk to you soon. Love it that you're down there. Loving, after I've seen that movie, those movies and TV shows especially, so rooting for Brazil. So I'm glad, that they're trying to bring tennis down to Brazil. And the Olympics is going on there as well. I really want to try to see if I can make it to the Olympics. We'll see. I always freaking say that. So we'll see what happens. Have a good one. Bye. Have fun. Have a safe flight home. And hope all is well with Mirka and the girls. Oh, I think they're not with you, actually. How is that? Oh my God, 2 weeks away from being from your family. You're going to miss them so much. Probably when you get home, it's going to be a grand reunion. But have fun. Have a wonderful vacation, Roger. And Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. And talk to you soon. Bye.